Water.
What is going on, guys? Noah Brewer here, back again with another video. Finally, I'm sorry for holding off on you guys. I've been traveling. I went to an event in Miami and met up with some clients and friends of mine, and now I'm in Long Island in the studio. I'm filming from our living room set, which is a good time. I'm gonna watch our production team film videos for products later on. Should be fun. But in this video, I'm gonna be going very in depth on product research. And not only how to find products, but I really want to talk about today the mindset and understanding, truly getting like a full-blown picture of what you need to be doing when you're trying to find products. So this video is going to be super valuable, so I'm just going to get right into it. So first thing I want to cover is understanding the pioneer method and, kind of like the mindset that goes behind it. In the past, I've talked about the pioneer method in a way where it kind of was portrayed as a way to find like untapped products, things that haven't been scaled at all yet. And not that those things are wrong, but in this video, I really want to portray that, the pioneer method is all about building a real skill of finding sellable products. The pioneer method is about using your own experience and building the muscle of really being able to find products that will actually go out there and perform well. And yes, products being untapped is kind of like a part of that, but it's not 100% of it. There's a lot more things that go into it, which I'll be getting into in the future slides. Just keep in mind that, the pioneer method is all about finding products that you think are good, and the copycat method is, kind of like the other option here, which is finding products that are already existing and doing well for other people. Whereas with this, you're kind of looking at products and deciding yourself whether it's good or not, and you don't care if other people are doing it. Now, before I get into criteria and how to find products and give you examples, I really want to set the expectation that there's no secret code, there's no secret criteria that is going to get you to a point where you're choosing out really good products. The only way to get good at finding products, and I mean this like sincerely and honestly, is to pick out products that you think are good with your current knowledge and then go out and test them and then use a feedback loop. You find the product, you test it, you analyze the results, and then once you do that so many times, you start implementing some sort of pattern recognition that allows you to just get better at testing products. So I do want to say that you can follow the world's most perfect criteria, you can follow the best rules, and you still might not be good at finding products. The only way to get good is to find them, test them, and follow that feedback loop in your mind. You need experience to be able to find good products, and that's just me coming from a genuine spot. Like, I don't want you to think that if you're not finding winners, it's because you're not following the right criteria or the right method, or you don't have the secret sauce. It's probably just because you either haven't been using the feedback loop at all, which I'm going to show you here in a second. You just haven't tested enough products, right? Like, that's pretty much what it is. Like, once you test a certain amount of products, you start seeing, what types of products are good and what types of products are bad. And the more products that you test, the better that you will get. So this is the feedback loop that I like to put together for testing products and actually getting good at finding products. So you find the product, you test it. So, for us, this is like a 7 ad set, 5 per day. We usually spend about $100 and see what the results are like. So from there, you just analyze the results, like, did it work, did it not work? And then you can get more specific, like how many add to carts, how many sales, what were the numbers? And then after doing that so many times, you can start to recognize patterns with certain characteristics with products that is going to allow you to find much better products in the future. So for example, if you're testing, random products, but you have 2 products on your list that are dog products, this is just an example. I'm not recommending to test dog products. But if you go and test, 10 products and 2 of them are dog products, and the only 2 products that make a sale are the dog products, then the pattern recognition that you need to see in that scenario is that dog products are making the sale. So you would want to, kind of switch your methods to start testing more dog products. And then you go back into the loop, right? You find more dog products, you test more dog products, analyze the results, and then you can begin to recognize like mini patterns inside of the dog product niche. So I want you guys to understand this and implement it and actually think about it when you're finding products and testing them. And this is why I say that the only reason to get really good is to actually go out and test. Because if you're not going out and test, then everything that's going on in your mind is literally just speculation, and it's not really based on, true things that happen and true data. So as you guys know, if you don't know yet, I've been using this feedback loop on literally thousands of products. If you don't know, I own an agency and I've had hundreds of students. I've been in this game for about 3.5 years, and being an agency and being a mentor has allowed me to overview other people's tests. So I've tested a ungodly amount of products compared to anybody else in the industry just because I've had so many students and so many clients. So this has allowed me to have a fat feedback loop. Like, that's why it's very hard for me to teach product research, because, you know, all of my product research at this stage is literally just based on my experiences and opinions. So it's pretty hard to like build a criteria that shows what works and what doesn't, because it's all based on, you know, thousands of products tests that I've ran over the past few years. But I did put together some, you know, base level criteria that I would definitely recommend following. I based it on my own experiences, and I've talked about this criteria many times before on this channel. So if you're not familiar with it, I would pay attention. So number one is a very clear solution to a problem. Now you have really two different types of products. You have the problem solvers, the things that solve problems and, you know, usually are very easy to sell. And then you have other products where, you know, maybe it's just a shoe and it looks nice, right? Like, it's kind of hard to sell a shoe that just looks nice. You just kind of run an image ad and hope that it pops. But when you have a clear solution to a problem, it's very easy to sell. You can make a video ad that pushes the pain points. You can make ad copy that really pushes the pain points and shows the solution to the specific problem that the people are having. So if you're just starting out, I would recommend to stick with products that have a clear solution to a problem that exists in the market. And, you know, I would stay away from like shoes and stuff like that, just because it's so luck based, right? Like, you're just kind of testing designs at that point. You're not really testing products. So if you're gonna test shoes, I would recommend testing, you know, 20 shoes, and maybe like 1 or 2 designs will actually work. Whereas if you're testing products that actually have a clear solution, now you're testing like actual products, right? It's going to be different every time. Another thing is, it's best to test products in niches that you are familiar with. Now this kind of comes off as obvious, but, you know, best thing to put it is, if you ride bicycles, you should test some bicycle products. I'm going to show a bicycle product in a couple slides here as an example. If you play guitar, you should try to test some guitar products. If you're a skateboarder, try to find some skateboard products. The reason that it's good to do this is because, you know, like, you are your target customer, and you know what problems people are having in that industry, and you know what you can solve. So copywriting, sales letter, all this stuff is going to be much better. It's going to be much more optimized, as opposed to, you know, a skateboarder trying to sell a guitar product. I hope that makes sense. It seems obvious, but I just wanted to point it out. The margin, ideally, you want to have a high enough perceived value to where you can have a 50% gross margin and have the product still be a good deal. So you don't want to just overprice things just so that you can increase your bottom line and make more money. You want your products to be priced at kind of like the average market rate. So on the market, you'll have your really cheap versions, you'll have your medium price versions, and you'll have your super high-end versions. You kind of want to be in the medium price range. You don't want to be the cheapest, but you also don't want to be the most expensive. And you need to be able to do that while maintaining a 50% gross margin, because you don't want to be the most expensive guy, and the only reason you're the most expensive guy is because it's costing you more money. So the high perceived value and the 50% margin kind of work together. Like, these are kind of necessities in my mind. Like, sometimes I'll make an exception and sell a product for a little bit more than the average market rate. But most of the time, you want to be looking for products that you can get for cheap enough and the value is high enough to where you can get that 50% margin and still be, you know, competitive with your pricing. Other thing, obviously, you don't want to be testing products that are too saturated. What do I consider too saturated? Like, if you Google it and there's fucking a million products and they're all selling for the same price as what you're paying for it, it's probably not a good idea to test that product. Also, there's like generic saturated products like the ab simulator, the fidget spinner. Obviously stay away from those, but there is not really metrics to use if something is too saturated or not. This is like one of those things that's going to be hard for you if you're a beginner to determine, and it's kind of going to be a big learning curve. But I promise you, once you do more product research, once you test more products, you're going to start to become a lot more familiar with like what's saturated and what's not. And the final criteria, which I'm gonna elaborate on, so don't be confused and exit the video, is UMOs, unique market opportunities, which I will get into those right now. So a unique market opportunity is basically an opportunity, a gap, like, you know, something that the market is missing, a place where you can come in with something new, something unique, something special. Maybe you can come into a market where a particular product is more expensive and you can offer it for a lot cheaper than anybody else. These are essentially, I don't know, gaps. Like, that's the best way to explain it. It's things that other companies missed. And I'll show you an example, probably the best example that I can think of. And this allows you to test products that are saturated. This allows you to test products that, you know, you can buy in Walmart, and you can buy them at Home Depot, and you can buy them, you know, at Dick's Sporting Goods. So the only thing is you're essentially finding normal products, and you're finding a version of it that is something special. Or maybe you find a version of it that's a lot cheaper. Like, an example of that is a welder. Like, we test a product, essentially a welding machine, with the agency and with my students a while back, that actually performed really, really good. And you can go to Home Depot and get a welder. You can buy them off of Amazon. You can buy them off of eBay. I'm pretty sure you can even buy them from Walmart. But the thing is, most welders in the market are like $300, $400, $500. And the reason for this is because it's a pretty heavy piece of equipment. I found one on AliExpress for I think like $60 or $70. And I did my research and I found that, like, holy shit, everybody's selling these for like $300, $400, $500. And I saw that as a unique market opportunity to come into this market, the welding market, and offer a welder for $100 or $150, you know, in that low tier price range. So we were able to take a product that already existed. It was, you know, you could buy it literally anywhere. It wasn't a new product at all. It wasn't untapped. But just the mere fact that we were able to offer it for such a competitive price made it pop off. And it did pop off, and it performed really well. It ended up being a six-figure product. So this is one example. So here's another example of a UMO. I'm probably gonna turn my camera off so that you guys can see the pictures on the screen here. But a bicycle helmet. This, you know, we're still testing this product with the agency. It still performs super duper well. But you can see on the left, we have just like a basic ass bicycle helmet. And no, I do not recommend testing a basic bicycle helmet. But what I was able to do is I found a bicycle helmet with a visor on it. So this is kind of like the perfect chance to come in and do a UMO play where, you know, we can take a product that's already saturated, already exists, like literally for decades. Like, who didn't have a bicycle helmet as a kid? But, you know, with the visor, now it's something new. It's something that they don't, you know, you can't go to Walmart and buy a helmet with a visor. You can't go to Best Buy. At least back when I found this product, you couldn't. You might be able to now. But, you know, this is probably the best example of a UMO. Essentially, it's a product that's already saturated, and you can come in and offer kind of like a unique spin on it just because you were able to find a better one. Now that you know what criteria to follow, what mindsets you have, how do you actually go out and find products? It doesn't really matter. That's kind of the beauty of the Pioneer method, is you can kind of do whatever you want. It doesn't matter if you're scrolling through AliExpress, which personally I love. That's like the best way to find products. Scrolling through TikTok, Google Shopping, Amazon, Alibaba, Taobao, Facebook, Instagram. It doesn't really matter. You can just keep your eyes open in your day-to-day life and just look around the room, and you can probably come up with some really cool ideas and products just by like walking around somewhere or just doing whatever you do in your normal day-to-day life. So one thing I do want to say is, as you know, if you do see a product in your day-to-day life, you want to make sure that it's on AliExpress, because that's going to be the easiest way to source it. I don't recommend 100% fulfilling through AliExpress, but if it's on AliExpress, then you most likely know that there's manufacturing for it already, and you can work with an agent. So that's kind of like one thing that I do want to say is, if I see a product in real life and then I go to AliExpress and I just can't find it for whatever reason, usually I'll just scrap it, because it's just easier to have it on AliExpress. So you already have all the images and stuff like that, and you know that it's manufactured in China. So it doesn't really matter how you find products, as long as it's on Ali. All right, so I want to show you guys now the fast lane to finding products. Now, I personally think that the best way to find products is like through your day-to-day life, or just scrolling through the internet, scrolling through TikTok, you know, just, I guess you can call it naturally finding a product, right? When you're trying to force product research, it becomes pretty difficult, at least at my level, to find good products, just because I've seen pretty much every single one already. But I do want to show you, because especially right now, if you're not in my position, like honestly, it's pretty fucking ridiculous the amount of products I've found and tested. So I don't want to compare myself to where you're at. So this method will probably work really good. But I do want to say that naturally finding products is the best way. But if you're really trying to hustle and find a bunch of products, you need to force it. So my recommendation is hop over to AliExpress. So I'm on AliExpress now. I'm just on the homepage, and I have a top 3 niches video that you can go check out. If you go to my YouTube channel, you can actually see it. But we'll just hop into outdoor fun and sports right now. So open up a category. There's a lot of ways that you can find products on AliExpress. I'm just going to show you the basic way. But you have these sort of criterias here. So usually what I like to do is I'll set a minimum price of about 20 bucks and a maximum of, I don't know, we'll do like 120, because we don't want to go like too high ticket, and we also don't want to go like too low ticket. So once you have that, now you can sort by. So usually you can do newest and 4 stars and up. So this is kind of like my standard way to organize a product. So 20 minimum, 120 maximum, newest, and 4 stars and up. So what this does is it's going to show you the newest products that have been listed in this category, and the 4 stars and up is going to make sure that they made like at least 1 sale on it, so that there's at least 1 review. Most products have 4 stars and up either way, so it's not like a product quality thing. It's more of just like, you actually want listings that have a couple sales. I'm not a big fan of using listings that have no sales. It's a little bit sketchy. But you come to this category, and essentially you can set it up this way, and you scroll. You just scroll through and you try to find products that could be cool, right? Like we have some glasses here. We'll open that up in a new tab. We have a fish finder, which I already know that the fish finder is not a good product. Like I said, like most of this stuff I've already seen before. But you open up a ton of products just in a new tab, and you go through pages. If you are going to do this, I recommend doing like 10 to 20 pages and just opening up as many that catch your eye as possible. And then when you're done, you can go into each individual product page and do some more research on it. So now I'm in each product page. So this is one way, and let's say you go through 20 pages and you didn't find anything, or maybe you're just trying to find more. You can just mess around with these, right? Like just click orders. That's going to bring things with the most orders up. So you can do best match. Best match is really good, but that's going to show you a lot of like really popular products. It's not updating my thing for some reason right now, so for you it probably will. But you can mess with these. Ships from United States, and you're not doing this because you want products that ship from United States. You're essentially just doing it so that it reorganizes the products in a different way. Like I said, mine is not reorganizing right there. There we go. So every time you kind of select or deselect one of these, it should reorganize the products. I think I have to refresh my screen every time. But yeah, you can see now it's just showing me like shoes and all this weird stuff. So this is essentially the fastest way to find products, because you can actually force it. And for me, I have a full team of VAs and people on my ad buying team, and I personally do it myself as well, where you just search through here, and then everything that we find, we just put in a Google Sheet, and then we kind of go through the Google Sheet later and choose out the products that are actually good. So this is able to be automated. If you want to hire a VA, just give them the criteria. You can even show them this video if you want to. It doesn't matter to me. Or you can follow the steps yourself. Doesn't matter. I hope this video was super valuable to you. I mean, that's pretty much all that I have. There's a couple more things that I can cover, but they have been covered on this channel before. So if you do stumble upon any other videos of me talking about product research, I've made way more in-depth trainings on this, and this training would work very well with those trainings. This is a little bit more updated, but I hope it was valuable to you nonetheless. If it was, leave a comment with your feedback, leave a like, subscribe, and hopefully I will see you again on one of my next videos. But yeah, as for this video, this is Noah Brewer, and I'm out. Peace.